Hey guys, I just wanted to quickly go through that homework to the best of my ability. Hopefully this works out well for you, but I was hoping we could just dive in and so with that being said, I'm going to switch to my first homework assignment quickly, and we are going to go from there. So, of course, it doesn't seem, there we go. Okay, so as we're looking at this homework, there's a lot going on there. I realize that. Okay, let's get rid of this stuff so we can go over it together a little bit. Okay, so on this first homework problem, what it's asking us to do is just move that shape by the rule given. So if I was just practicing and showing off, I could say my rule for this guy would be 5 units to the right, so that'd be +5, and 1 unit up. So that's how I could write that, but to actually translate it, it's a different thing. So we're going to go from each point. So we're going to take point T here, and we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right, and 1 up. That's where I'm going to find T prime, because it's been moved. Now with G, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move G 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right, and 1 up, and make that G prime. And then for my B right here, I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the right and 1 unit up. That'd be my B prime. And I'm just reconnecting, and that's showing you how I did the work. Okay. For this next one here, we have YGM, and when it has our rule up here is 1 unit to the left, so that'd be X minus 1, and 2 units up, which would be Y plus 2. So I'm going to take each point and just follow that rule. So from Y, I'm going to go 1 to 2 up. From G, I'm going to go 1 to the left, 2 up. So that'd be G prime, Y prime. And then from M, 1 to the left, 2 up. And M prime. And then I just reconnect my dots. So that's all you're doing for that first one, is just taking a look at how that stuff's working together. Okay, if I switch now to my second page, it's a little bit too much. Okay, it's just asking us to write the rule. So to write the rule, you just got to figure out which point you're moving to, and you're always moving from the non-prime to the prime. So you can see there's a little tick mark there by that Z right here. Okay, that means it's Z prime. Okay, so I'm going to move from this point to that point, which in this case is 2 units to the right. So that'd be +2, 1 unit down, which is -1. So I'd write my horizontal movement was 2 to the right, so that'd be +2, and my vertical movement was 1 down, so it'd be -1. That would be my rule for that transformation. Okay, so when I'm looking at this next one here, we have, this is V, this is V prime is right there. Okay, so I'm moving 1 to the left, which would be -1, and 1 up, which would be +1. So when I do my rule, I moved 1 to the left horizontally, 1 up vertically. Okay, so that would be how you accomplish that one. For our next set that we were dealing with in the homework, it was just a Quizlet set asking us to think about some stuff. So like, for example, if you think about this one, we're talking about things that are like the transformation Nene song. So if you reflect across the axis, we talked about if you're reflecting across the x-axis, you're reflecting downward or flipping down. Okay. This picture shows which type. Well, it's not a translation because it's facing a different direction. So I have to figure out, is it being rotated or is it being reflected? And in this case, since it looks like the K's are facing one another, this is definitely a reflection. Okay. Another way we like to think about a reflection is just a flip. Remember, if it flips across the axis, another way to think of the rotation is when you turn, it's how you rotate. Okay. Now these matching questions, some people were having some trouble with those. So let's take a look at them. Okay. All you're doing is paying attention to what it's saying. So it's saying here, x plus 2, y plus 1, so that'd be plus 2 would be 2 to the right, plus 1 would be 1 up. So I'm looking for the one that says 2 to the right and 1 up, which is right here, which is my b. This one I'm looking for 3 to the right and 4 up. 3 to the right, 4 up. This one must be a, which means this guy has to be c. Okay? So that would be that first page of that Quizlet. Okay, the second page is challenging you to do some other things as well. Okay, so like for this first one, if you reflect across the y-axis, so we're reflecting, which means we're flipping, okay? We would, if we drew it out and went across, you would see that your y value stays the same, and this guy becomes the opposite. That's just one I want you guys to think about, okay? It's something we'll be learning more next week, but I wanted to get the idea planted in your head. This picture shows which type of transformation? Well, that's obviously turning, so it's a rotation, okay? And just work through those. The final Quizlet that we were dealing with was this guy, and he did kind of confuse some people. So the easiest way to attack these top 5 ones is just do what we did when we learned how to apply the equation, which is draw your XY chart, apply the rule, find the new coordinate. So in this case, my first step was draw an XY chart. So there's my XY chart right there. I'm going to plug in the point I know, which is B, which is 3, 4, and then these rules are just the pattern. So I'm going to go 3 plus 2, then I'm going to go 4, the y value, minus 2, and I end up with 5, 2. And that's my answer. B prime would be at 5, 2. Okay, for this one, it's the same kind of concept. I'm going to make my XY chart. Okay, this time I have negative 10 and 4 as my numbers. My rule says x plus 5, so I'm going to go plus 5. Y minus 2, so I'm going to go minus 2. So negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5. And 4 minus 2 is 2. So in this case, my b prime would be negative 5, 2. Okay. And you just work through everything from there. As we get lower down that worksheet, you will notice like these matching questions. Okay, so what would the x coordinate be if I, or what would my coordinate, the x coordinate be? So I'm looking for just the x coordinate. If I translated it using this rule, so I'm going to take 7, and I'm going to take my 7 right there. Whoops. This guy right here, my 7, because that's my x coordinate, and I'm going to apply my x rule to it. So 7, so it'd be like 7 plus 5 equals 12. And so A would come over here. What would the x coordinate be? So again, we're looking at the x coordinate right there, which is 3 in this case. The rule says x minus 5, so I'm going to go 3 minus 5 to get negative 2. And I'm going to put negative 2 there. Okay, again, it's just asking you to stretch. The key thing is I just want to see your thinking. I want you to do your best. If you can do stuff like on your paper, like this stuff here to show me your thinking, you will definitely get full credit no matter what, whether or not they're right or wrong. So just show your thinking, do your best, and have a good one, guys. Thank you.